Imagine £3,000 hitting your bank account every single month without you having to go to work for it. That's the fortunate position I'm in now, where I'm getting consistent income on autopilot. So in this video, I'm going to show you the blueprint to earn £3,000 a month passively and how much money you really need to do this so that you can work less and spend more time doing the things you'd love to do. But first, let me show you what most beginners miss, because if you get this wrong, £3,000 a month will be impossible. So I want to give you a real life example, and this is about my dad. I grew up in an Asian household, right? We lived pretty frugally, but my dad actually had a good job. He was earning around £50,000 a year at the time, but he was working non-stop, long hours, and he couldn't see himself doing that forever. So he wanted something passive on the side. Now, just to be clear, there's no such thing as 100% passive. Passive income is more of a marketing gimmick than reality, but property, it can be pretty hands off with the right systems in place. So for my dad, buy-to-lets felt like the obvious answer, but this is where the problem starts. If you want to make £3,000 a month, that's £36,000 a year. At the time, we were living in Wolverhampton, and the average yield there is around 6.5%. In your area, it could be less than 6.5% or slightly higher, but let's just use 6.5% just for this example. So when you divide £36,000 by a 6.5% yield, you need just over £550,000 worth of savings, over £500,000, and that's just to earn £3,000 a month. Now here's the reality: most people watching this don't have £550,000 lying around. My dad didn't, and for most beginners, that's the point where making £3,000 a month from buy-to-lets, it becomes impossible. And you could argue that you could just wait for prices to go up, but that can take years. I'm talking 10, 15 years. There's not much else you can do in the meantime. And this is the mistake that stops most beginners from getting to that £3,000 a month, which is why the blueprint I'm about to show you today is different, and it's built around 3 different strategies that you can choose from, with the final strategy getting you to that £3,000 mark the fastest. So when I first started in property, I was like most people. I wasn't trying to become a full-time property investor. I just wanted a bit more cash flow, and I wanted it sooner rather than later. And the reason was simple. At the time, I was an accountant on £19,000 a year, and £19,000 wasn't a lot of money even back then. And I already knew from my dad's experience that standard buy-to-lets were going to need a lot of money and time. So I started looking at a strategy that paid a lot more each month. I ended up buying one of these properties, and I still own it today. The strategy I'm talking about here is a HMO, which stands for houses in multiple occupation. Instead of letting a property out to one family, you rent it out room by room to individuals. And yes, it can work. Mine does. My HMO brings around £800 a month in profit, which if you're aiming for £3,000 a month, HMOs sounds like the obvious answer, right? But to really understand it, let's compare it side by side with a standard buy-to-let, just like the one my dad bought. If both properties cost £100,000 to buy, yes, the income is higher with HMOs, but here's the thing: the upfront investment is higher too. There's more ongoing management, more wear and tear, and more uncertainty. Even with management in place, it's definitely not passive. There's always something to think about when it comes to HMOs: a room becoming vacant, maintenance, your bills getting higher. So HMOs can get you to £3,000 a month, and usually with fewer properties, but they come with trade-offs, and you need to understand those before you go down this route. So that's strategy number 1. But strategy 2 takes a completely different approach. It fixes some of the HMO downsides, but it comes with its own risks. Because once you've seen the downsides of HMOs, a natural question comes up: what if you could avoid the ongoing management completely? What if once the work was done, it was actually done? No tenants, no rooms going vacant, no constant uncertainty. That's what this second strategy solves. Instead of holding the property long term, the focus is on buying well, improving it, and then selling it on, which is also known as flipping. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you buy a property for £100,000. You spend around £40,000 on the refurb and sell it for £176,000. That's a profit of £36,000. And if you divide that £36,000 profit by 12 months, you've essentially made yourself £3,000 a month for the next year, and the benefits are obvious. Once the property is sold, it's not your responsibility anymore. There's no tenants, there's no uncertainty. You've also grown your pot of money, which gives you more options going forward. But there are downsides which you need to know about. First, it's definitely not passive at all. You're actively doing doing deals. Second is you'll pay tax on the profit, and that can be a big chunk. And the third thing is it's not consistent in the same way rental income is. Once you've sold that property, your income stops. To make money again next year, you need to find another deal. So it becomes a repeat process. On top of that, flipping, it can be seasonal. So flipping can absolutely help you reach £3,000 a month, sometimes very quickly, but just like anything, it has its downside. And that brings me to the third strategy, which is actually my favorite because it takes the best parts of both. So if you look at the first two strategies, they both work, but they both have trade-offs. With HMOs, you get higher monthly income than a standard buy-to-let, but you also get more moving parts, more maintenance, more hassle, and it's definitely not hands-off. With flipping, you can make big chunks of cash, but it's very active. You pay tax on the profit, and once the property is sold, the income stops. So if the goal is to make £3,000 a month as reliably and hands-off as possible, there's a third strategy that sits in the middle. It takes the upside of both without some of the biggest downsides. Let me show you how this works using the same £100,000 property we used in the flip example. So let's say you buy the property for £100,000. You spend £40,000 on the refurb fixing it up. So in total, you've put £140,000 into the deal. And once the work's done, the property is now worth £176,000. Up to this point, it looks very similar to a flip, but here's a key difference. Instead of selling this property, you refinance it. Once the work's finished, a surveyor comes out and values the property at £176,000. You then refinance at 75% loan to value. That means the bank will lend you roughly £132,000 against the property. That £132,000 pays back most of the money that you put in, which is £140,000. And because it's a loan, it's not treated as income, so there's no tax on it. And instead of having £140,000 stuck in the property, you're left with roughly £8,000 in the property, depending on the fees. And this is called the buy, refurb, rent and refinance strategy. So if you think about it, you haven't pulled all your money out. You've still got £8,000 left in the property, but you technically now own the property for £8,000, and you've now got a big chunk of money paid back to you that you can now go and use again to buy another property. Now let's talk about cash flow. Let's say each of these properties gives you a realistic £3,000 a month in cash flow. To get to £3,000 a month, you then technically need 10 of these properties using the BRRR. And instead of needing £500,000 upfront like my dad did, you're now talking about roughly £80,000 based on this example of leaving £8,000 per deal. Now, if you're thinking 10 properties sounds like a lot, you're absolutely right. Property is a long-term game. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight. But here's the reality. If you bought 1 or 2 properties a year using the BRR, even if you leave in £10,000 in the deal, £12,000 in the deal, or £15,000 in the deal, you could realistically build that portfolio in 3 to 5 years. And the difference this time is predictability. You know roughly how much each property makes. You know how much money is left in each deal on average. And you're not relying on one big sale or hoping prices double. Plus, your properties are still growing in the background, so you're building monthly income and long-term wealth at the same time. And this is exactly how I built my own portfolio. So now you know the blueprint for making £3,000 a month using 3 different strategies. But if you want to go deeper on BRR and actually see it in a real deal, I'll walk through one of my latest properties step by step in this next video, so I'll see you over there.